Hey there, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how I made the war table from Dragon Age Inquisition. The war table is a key mechanic in Dragon Age Inquisition. It allows you to unlock new areas to explore, complete story missions, and do extra side missions for rewards. I knew that I wanted to make a model for it, but I didn't want to use the in-game footage as my reference. Instead, I wanted to use the concept art that's found in the art book. As is often the case, the concept art ends up being better than the actual finished game itself, so it just makes sense to base my model off of the concept art. I start by laying out and then gluing down some foam bricks to help orient myself around the base of the model, and then use more foam bricks to fill in the gaps. As I felt the bricks were a little bit too tall, I then shaved them down. I then bashed the bricks with a rock to make them look more like rock and less like foam. Using a pencil, I then drew on another ring of stones into the base. I then went over my lines with a knife to help them stick out a bit more once I do the painting. To create the sand pit in the middle of the base, I decided to be lazy and just used hot glue and then some model dirt to fill it in. Everything was then covered in a thin layer of goop and then stippled to make it look like stone. To make the tree, I use polymer clay. I roll out some clay logs into vaguely root-like shapes. Then, taking a larger lump of clay, I place it on a sheet of baking paper that I've draped over the base of the model, and then proceed to lay the roots around the clump of clay. Then, taking out a rolled out sheet of clay, I cut out the shape of the table. I then use my knife to score some lines into the clay, to mimic the look of bark and wood grain. To add some detail to the table, I fish around in my Warhammer bits box for a bit and pull out these items. Pretty much all of these bits are good to go, but this guy's helmet needs a bit of adjustment. Taking my knife, I scrape away the ogre's face, removing him from existence and erasing his identity. A few more small modifications and then everything gets glued down. I wasn't too worried about the placement here, I just wanted everything to look visually interesting. The base gets varying shades of grey dry brushed on, and the sandpit gets a very desaturated green, almost like a green-grey. The barely visible ring of tiles then get a copper dry brush. I then go and painstakingly paint on a sigil onto each tile. I'm not entirely sure what this is supposed to be. I believe it had some sort of significance to the war table, but I wouldn't have any clue what that would be now. The entire base is then doused in a black wash. Moving on to the war table itself, it was nothing too intense. Just a series of browns and lighter browns, brushed and dry brushed on top of each other. Using a couple of images on my laptop as a reference, I proceed to paint a miniature version of the map of Thedas. I can't guarantee that it's 100% accurate, but close enough is good enough in this case. To age the map, I scrunch it up, unravel it, give it a brown wash, and then give it a dry brush. Then, unfortunately, I had to destroy the map that I lovingly created. Using my knife, I tear down the middle and then use the knife to distress the edges to make it look worn down. A quick brown stain around the edges, and the map was done. From there, it's just a case of painting the various details around the table. I will admit that it's not completely accurate to what we see in game, or the concept art, but I mostly just wanted to experiment and have a bit of fun here. Using some watered down PVA glue, I then glue the map down to the table. After assembling, the war table is finished. Thank you for watching. Dragon Age Inquisition is one of my favourite games, and I have plans to make more projects based off of it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, have a good one.